Is it possible to lower your blood pressure 40 points? There are 10 things that you can do listed in this video. Of course, always ask your doctor if lowering your blood pressure naturally would be right for you. That's kind of funny. Number one is losing weight. Your body has to work that extra hard, and the blood pressure has to go higher to supply oxygen and nutrients to all the extra mass. Every 2.2 pounds lost will equate to about 1 millimeter of mercury lower in your blood pressure. In other words, lose 22 pounds, you've just changed your blood pressure by 10 millimeters of mercury. Now, how does one do that? Of course, that's what the internet is all about. It's controversial because every diet says they'll help you lose weight, and every form of exercise essentially says the same thing. And for most people, you know the answer. If you're not eating very healthy now and you're not exercising very much now, doing either of those two things is going to accelerate the process of weight loss. Having said that, many people find that one diet in particular works better for them than others. So what you can do is put the diet that worked the best for you down below in the comments. If you've noticed that a keto diet has worked, or a carnivore diet, or an Atkins diet, or a vegetarian diet, or a vegan diet, or a Mediterranean diet, or a DASH diet, whatever diet worked for you, let us know in the comment section, because if there's one more predominant diet that helps with blood pressure, it'll become evident in the comment section. Number two, in your diet, reducing the amount of salt in your diet can significantly lower your blood pressure. By reducing 1 gram of salt, sodium chloride, in your diet can reduce your blood pressure by 5 millimeters of mercury. The average American eats 3.4 grams of salt per day. It is recommended that we have 2.3 grams of salt. So you can see, as Americans, we're eating quite a bit of salt. One of the solutions to that, because obviously salt does make things taste better, is to use a salt substitute. So you can use something like this you can get anywhere, Morton's salt substitute, and this has potassium chloride rather than sodium chloride. So you're reducing the amount of sodium in your diet, but you still get that flavor. Number three is potassium, eating foods that have more potassium in them. Now, the interesting thing about potassium is that potassium helps the kidneys eliminate sodium. In addition to that, what happens with potassium is potassium will help make the arteries more pliable. So you're getting a 2-for-1 here. You're making the arteries more pliable, and you are eliminating sodium. And what happens is that gives you kind of a 1-2 punch. Just 5 grams of potassium will lower your blood pressure by 5 millimeters of mercury. And so certain diets, like the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, the Zone diet, these are diets that you will get more potassium and lower the amount of sodium, and by doing both of those already, you've lowered your blood pressure 10 millimeters of mercury. Number four, magnesium can lower your blood pressure 2 millimeters of mercury and up, depending on the person. There's varying degrees of research on this, but nonetheless, magnesium is something that you can either get through supplements, or you can just eat high magnesium foods. And finding foods that are high in magnesium is quite easy. If it grew out of the ground, it has magnesium. Number five is just get some fish oil. And 1 gram of fish oil can lower your blood pressure by 4 to 5 millimeters of mercury. Number six is alcohol consumption. And it's been said that alcohol's okay, but only in moderation, but nobody really knows what moderation means. It's essentially 1 to 2 glasses of red wine per day, which, if you're not a drinker, that's actually quite a bit of alcohol. But if you were to eliminate all alcohol from your diet, then that would reduce your blood pressure by 4 millimeters of mercury. The million-dollar question is, why do we have so much alcohol? I think it's because we had kids. Now, number seven is exercise, which I'm doing right here. Now, how much exercise should you get for cardiovascular health? The answer is 150 minutes per week, which is actually not that much. And exercise can reduce your blood pressure by like 5 millimeters of mercury. However, there is something that if you're healthy enough to do, it's called high intensity interval training. The only problem with high intensity interval training is if you really have high blood pressure, it's probably not a good idea. In the literature, high intensity interval training will lower your blood pressure a little bit more than regular cardiovascular training. However, the difference isn't that much. If your blood pressure is too high, doing high intensity intervals can actually raise your blood pressure temporarily to maybe dangerous levels. And so that is why, if you're not really in great shape already, it's best to just do cardiovascular exercise, and that will help you quite a bit.
Number 8 is meditation. Whether you just go into a quiet place, you just sit in your car, or you do cold water immersion, or you just do deep breathing exercises. This has been found to lower your blood pressure by about 5 millimeters of mercury. So one of the action steps that you can do is, let's say you park your car and you're going to go into the house, or you're at work. Before you go into the work, before you exit out of the car and go to that stressful environment, you just do some deep breathing exercises. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, breathe deep, breathe slow, let it go. There's lots of videos on my YouTube channel that show you exactly how to do this, but sometimes just taking a couple minutes can lower your blood pressure by a significant amount.
Number 9, something people never consider, is an attitude adjustment. And actually what I mean by that is the reduction of stress, changing your attitude so that things that normally would stress you and cause your cortisol levels to go up, sometimes a good attitude adjustment can lower your blood pressure 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury. Now, number 10, the last and final thing that you can do to lower your blood pressure naturally and lower it quite a bit is to eat more things like beets and spinach. Now, here's a test question. Who should not be eating beets and spinach? Even though beets and spinach are considered extremely healthy for our body because they have nitrates in them, these nitrates are converted by our body into nitric oxide, which lowers our blood pressure because it makes the arteries more pliable. There are a select few who do not respond well to eating these. There's a certain chemical in beets and spinach in particular that will give problems. Let me know if you know who those types of people are in the comment section down below. But nonetheless, if you don't have problems like that, go to town on this. So if you thought this video was awesome, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and that way you'll be notified of other videos I'm going to do regarding getting your body healthy naturally. So the sponsor of today's video is Nature's Pure Blend, and they have a product called Nitric Oxide Flow. And what this has are some amino acids, L-arginine and L-citrulline, that are the constituents that allow our body to produce more nitric oxide. So if you want to have better blood pressure, which, let's face it, who doesn't, you need to supply the nutrients necessary for our body to raise the nitric oxide levels in the blood vessels. So by taking this type of product, you can significantly lower your blood pressure. So there will be a link down in the description where you can actually look at this product and see if it's right for you.